guys, it's Dani. Today we're gonna make a sort of general orchid room update. I'm going to tell you my thoughts about the growing methods that I've tried out in the past year, at least this year, and also the addition that I made to my grow space, such as the light. So I'm gonna tell you how they all work, make a sort of general look on everything, and also at the end, a tiny YouTube break announcement. But before that, let's start with the grow space and with what I believe is the best addition that I made to the greenhouse this year, and this is the light fixture. If you don't remember or you missed that video, check it down below. I added or actually switched my lighting system. If you remember, I had those spotlights. Oh my goodness, I'm just seeing how awful they used to be. Well, not awful, they did their job, but in comparison, it's actually no comparison. The LED shop lights are wonderful, and I'm noticing my orchids doing very well beneath them. Now, of course, these are not something to supplement the sun. It's not like you can put a Vanda orchid or even a highlight Cattleya orchid here and it will do great. I think for that you need serious artificial lighting. But for medium light requiring stuff, such as the summer blooming Phalaenopsis orchids, which in my opinion do require a little bit more light than average Phalaenopsis to do well, for the Encyclia vitellina there, for Brassavolas, even Brassavola hybrids, and Silagene usitana, and all sorts of other intermediate, let's say, orchids, it's absolutely perfect. And they're growing so well, I really like it. Moreover, I like how uniform the light is, so I can put orchids close to the edge actually. Mind you, this is not the final stage of the shelf, I didn't reach that. But it has done its job so well, and I absolutely love it. I do plan to expand my special Phalaenopsis collection. I think this shelf is perfect, and overall I do want to implement it on my other shelves as well, which in comparison right now they're just so dim. In the nighttime, this particular shelf lights up the entire grow room. It's absolutely amazing. It's such a big difference. So I'm very happy with this investment. Right on time, 7 o'clock in the morning, workers started to make noise. I think it's time to close the windows. So the noise of the workers is gone, but the noise of the AC is on. Sorry about that, there's already 30 degrees in the grow space. What was I saying? Okay, the lighting system is not a professional lighting system. Those are a totally different spectrum, and they consist of mainly blue and red. My shop lights are daylight, but I really don't need anything else. Since this room is not actually complete darkness, I do have natural sunlight as well, bouncing off the walls and even directly when the sun gets low enough. So it's okay for me. So this has been the biggest addition to my grow space, and I do plan on adding more. So step by step each month, probably I will install some more of these LED panels because they're absolutely worth it. They just look so nice and so inconspicuous as well. Look at this. And oh, I just see a cable just fell. I usually tuck in those cables. Other than that, they look absolutely gorgeous. The second best thing that I did was start to work with reservoirs. Semi-hydro or self-watering pots. Let's start with semi-hydro. It's been about a year since I started it once again. I've been through the winter, through the summer with it, and I have to say it works better than my other setup because it's just so airy, but it still needs me to make sure it works, because if I do it wrong, it's not gonna work. And I know this is an empty pot, but what I found works best for me in my environment is to use normal pots, not tall pots, and just make the reservoir a little bit higher. Now, winter time is great with the reservoir. In my climate, I can actually fill the reservoir. I don't need to maintain my orchids as dry as I did with the other setup. However, in summertime, particularly with orchids that start to take off and produce a lot of roots, semi-hydro is a little bit not enough. I mean, it is enough if I would water every 3 days. Do I want to water every 3 days? No. Do I want to consume so much water? No. So I started to experiment with self-watering pots. Currently I have my Phalaenopsis here. These were the test subjects. I did all sorts of setups with whatever containers I had in the grow space. So these were the first to be converted, but after that I converted my seedlings, which you can see there. All of the seedlings and small plants there are in self-watering pots, and I'll get you to the window as well. I'll show you. I have some more seedlings there. and also the orchids outside, which I already told you I want to switch because they just give me headaches with watering, but they do great outside. So these orchids are now in the self-watering pots. I feel like I want to extend it to the Phalaenopsis as well because they drink so much water and I cannot keep up because they're lettuces and they need water. So I'm thinking about that. The only problem is to find big enough masks and pots for them. That's the only thing. Other than that, I don't have issues because they're already in leca. Pretty much everything is already in leca, so all I have to do is just remove it from the pot gently, not disturb the root system, put it in a different pot, preferably a little bit bigger, and put leca around them. And that's it, pretty much. So in the summertime, I think the self-watering system works a lot better for me. It's more economical. It helps my health as well. So even though I addressed this once, some of you might have missed it. Am I going to switch my orchids to a different setup? You bet your face I will if it helps me out and if I don't have back problems anymore because of it. Life without back pains, it's wonderful. So anyway, the setup is the second best thing that I could do. A group of orchids which was absolutely unhappy with leca and semi-hydro in general, and inorganic actually in general ever since I moved here, are the mottled-leaved Paphiopedilums. Let's drink some coffee. And this year I decided to throw in the towel and go for a terrestrial mix for them because, well, guess what? They're semi-terrestrials, and lo and behold, everything is resolved. So I did talk about this recently, I think, a few months ago at least. They had a lot of dieback issues, a lot of not growing well issues. They were simply unhappy for whatever reason. Well, that reason was leca. Whether it was the airiness that the medium provided, or the pH, or the reservoir, or the this and that. Maybe it was a multitude of things. My suspicion is the air pockets and the dehydration versus my environment aspect of things. But there we have them. They are in organic medium right now, and I moved them to the Lechuza self-watering pots. I think they're suited. They drink so much water and they're not supposed to be dry for too long, so a big reservoir such as the Lechuza pot is perfect for them. The terrestrial mix is very wicking, a lot more than leca, so everything works great. I need to move this guy as well, and probably that guy, I don't know. I might move this one in leca. This is the American hybrid and he's doing great in no matter what I put him. But the mottled-leaved Paphiopedilums, look at them. They look so nice now. This one has a bud, I believe, here, so it's gonna be great to see it. It's a pink Paphiopedilum. This one was the recent one that I moved. This is the green, the Modier green. I made a video in which I left this guy in semi-hydro to compare the evolution, and it was such a difference. This guy was still having issues. So I moved him recently, actually, after I filmed that video. And part of it is in a Lechuza pot, but the other part I separated him in two. I planted separately. I plan to give it away. And yes, the giveaway will arrive most probably at the 100,000 subscriber mark, just to celebrate it. I didn't want to send orchids in the middle of summer. So yeah, in the autumn time, probably I'll do the giveaway, but I'll tell you more about it when the time comes, because yet again, I don't want to promise something that I cannot do afterwards. Anyway, so yeah, the paths cannot go in semi-hydro for me. I'm sure there are people or climates in which they do great and absolutely perfect and wonderful in semi-hydro. Not for me. I'm going to stick to terrestrial mix for these orchids. That's okay. Cocoa coir actually does not break down so fast. It's not a huge deal. I'll tolerate it for the sake of my orchids. I absolutely love how they grew in the mix. So these are definitely a group of plants which will remain in terrestrial mix. Another group of plants which will remain in something else, probably, I'm not entirely sure, are the Miltoniopsis and cool growers. Oh, they had such a summer. They really don't like the heat here. And it's not only about the heat, as I mentioned before. Yes, in Romania or other countries, summer is hot as well. Yes, it is. But in my particular country, there's 30-something degrees Celsius at night as well for 4 months. No, 3 months. And in these 3 months, all of these cooler growers go mental. Because I do have my AC on in the daytime when it's critical, but in the nighttime I don't. I just run fans. And the temperature, I'll show you actually. Right now, oh yeah, I forgot I'm running the AC now, but yeah, the temperature is 28.5 now. It used to be 30 when I started to film this video. So there we have it. So these guys, yeah, they seem to do better in my cool setup with the sphagnum moss and the ceramic pots, but you can see they're not very luscious. I'm hoping they will get adjusted with time. I already lost some Miltoniopsis, I think 2 of them, which were very, very weak. I still have my Masdevallia there. She's struggling, as you can see, but she's still growing. I think the Victoria Reginae has issues. I do believe there's more to it than just not liking my environment, but the Harveyanum dendrobium loves it. So this guy will definitely remain like this. As for the Miltoniopsis, they're hanging in there, but I cannot say they're the happiest. Anyway, I'm gonna stick to these Miltoniopsis and not fall in the trap of buying more, because at least now I cannot provide what they need. If at any point in the future I can actually provide a more professional way of lowering temperature, not only in the daytime but also in the nighttime, for a few months per year, then I'll definitely buy more of these orchids. But for now, I'm good with these. I don't want to waste any more shelf space for them, because clearly these orchids are not suited for this country. I don't know why they don't bring Cattleyas, for example, or Vandas more. They bring Miltoniopsis, the coolest growing orchid in the flower shop. Hey, what to do? Another thing that happened this year was the Orchids Outdoors experience, which I kind of felt with the Vandas, although right now they're outside, yay! Vandas this year, they're struggling because I kept stressing them, burning their leaves and so on and so forth. Check the video down below if you missed it. I lost my Tillumnias, I burned the Vandas. One of the Vandas had a flower spike, it dried just because they're very, very stressed at the moment, and I don't expect great things from them. But now they're actually outside with the Cattleyas. I'm not keeping them in full sun, don't worry. But I do think it's a little better than the growth space right now. So as I was saying in my outdoors orchids video, the Cattleyas are doing great outside, but the Oncidiums did not enjoy it quite at all. So I moved back my Cherry Babies and related. I also moved back here my new Dendrobium phalaenopsis orchids, the ones from Equagenera, although the other ones, the ones that are established, are doing so great outside. They all are full of spikes. Double spikes, triple spikes. It's amazing what the outside world did to them. These guys, though, arrived without roots. They lost their leaves. They're currently recovering, and they're recovering very, very well. But I thought, you know what, this year they're gonna spend it in the growth space where everything is sheltered and controlled, not outside. And next year, we're gonna enjoy the blooms. I also brought back in the growth space the Dendrobium spectabile. Oh, this is a Latoria dendrobium, and I thought he would like the warmth and heat and sun. He hated it. He lost almost all of his roots, but it's okay. He grew a new growth there. I'm currently trying to root him again in a higher moisture environment. I brought him here. He does not enjoy the heat. I was amazed. I actually thought they would enjoy it, or be at least like Cattleyas, but nope. He sat together with the Cattleyas and hated it. So I brought him back here. Hopefully I didn't set him back. The new growth is ready to produce roots, so I'm thinking it's not gonna be so bad. But yeah, there we have it. This guy did not like the outside world. And other than that, you can see there I still have some seedlings or small orchids. They're all in self-watering pots because watering them every other day, it wasn't pleasant. But overall, the outside experience has worked really, really well with some orchids, mainly Cattleyas, Epidendrums, and Dendrobium phalaenopsis or bigibbum types. Other than that, I cannot say any orchid really, really liked it outside. Maybe the Vandas will like it now that they're on the eastern side, not the western side. But yeah, I kind of blew it with the Vandas this year. No flower spikes right now, but hopefully by the end of the year, one of them at least will bloom. And I think that's about it from the growth space. These were actually the best highlights of the year: the lighting, the new setup, and the orchids outside. Other than that, nothing major happened. But to be honest, I'm sick of summer. Here it started in April and it's already August. I just want autumn. But you know what? It's time for vacation. Now, being that my boyfriend is still recovering from the surgery, we cannot really travel or do anything. So this year, we're not going on vacation, we're staying home. The good thing is we are on an island and the sea is half an hour away, so we can go to the sea if we want to. It would be the first time this year we didn't get to go to the sea or do anything, but that's okay. So I am actually taking a little break from YouTube, a little vacation break, even though I'm gonna be home, and probably, if I cannot help it, I will film and post something, but it's just not gonna be every day or like a routine. I do want to spend some time with my boyfriend and just, I don't know, but just go somewhere, not necessarily to the sea, but just not have the stress of, oh, I need to wake up, I need to film, I need to do that, which is not stressful, don't get me wrong, but sometimes all of us need a little bit of a break to recharge our batteries, to give us time to miss what we're doing. Even if you love something a lot, you know, a break here and there is always useful. So for the next week, including this weekend, I'm not going to be very consistent with the videos. I might still upload, but in case I don't worry about it. It's just a little vacation break, and of course I'm gonna come back to work after next week. So hang tight until then. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. And you know the drill. If you did enjoy it, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe to my channel for regular orchid videos, tutorials, Q&As, and all those fun stuff. And if you like YouTube to notify you whenever I upload a new video, just turn on all notifications for my channel. And with that said, have a nice summer vacation if you're going anywhere, and I'll see you guys next time, whenever next time will be. Bye!